that usually I'll like to see like 20 rupees or 5 rupees at most, but you know, that's just me. Early money goes great for Kakariko Village, and as we see, we got a cape in Escape Part 1. So they're opting to do. They're now going to go Sanctuary because they don't really got a weapon yet. They can use those bombs, but they can't really get that far. You need at the very least 6 bombs to finish up the escape sequence. First part of it, at least.
All right. And since you guys couldn't hear us, quick overview. My name is Zeke Highwind. This is Esper Hubb as my co-com. And we're here with the Jawesomesauce versus itsotter Game 2 of the Master Sword Finals. Sorry about the technical difficulties, folks.
Hey, sometimes it happens, but you know what? Game is running smoothly as ever as we both see both runners finishing the beginning part of Uncle to go straight into Kakariko Village with the bombs that they got in hand. As I previously stated, once comms came back live, they can use those to get into the rest of the Kakariko Village checks and finish that off pretty quickly without having to look for some bombs themselves.
Nice early heart containers are good to find. And there's a book.
We got some literature going on today. That means interest for the Eastern Palace, well, Desert Palace. And they can also, once they get Master Sword, they'll be able to check the tablets.
And we're going into Kakariko Village with our book. Kind of a slow opening on this one.
Yeah,
there's 13 checks in here to pull, so maybe we'll find something useful in those.
Hopefully we won't come across a front-loaded seed that has bombs and rupees everywhere. It could be very tempting to do pedestal check. I agree with Oral there. Like,
there's a hammer.
Hammer?
Always good to find that bottle here in Kakariko. And there's our sword.
All right.
Blind Hut pull today.
So yeah, that hammer is going to be very useful. Not only that it does tempered sword damage, but it allows them to get access to a few of the Dark World areas as well. It is pretty crucial for clearing out Palace of Darkness as well as a few other dungeons, including Thieves Town.
I'm not familiar with what Jawesomesauce is. Those are boots in the back of the well.
And that is
they always like the early boots.
Early boots is a welcome sight to see. You can do the check in the library just to see if that's progression, then they don't have to worry about that, as well as there's a Palace torch item. Now, the thing that worries me, if they start getting a little bit more progression rapidly, I feel like this seed is going to come and bite them in the rear in the RNG-related fashion.
Double Boomerang Village, everybody.
All right, where's my red and blue rain crew? Y'all need to represent today. Your boomerangs are out early today.
They are a lamp from Desert Palace. Actually, no, they need gloves. I always forget the glove requirement.
While they're doing the last set of checks, finishing their last set of checks, Jawesomesauce comment on the last game race. He felt pretty good about it overall, but he felt like he was being a bit too thorough during that seed, so he's looking to change it up today as we see a sword on the shelf. I'm having some red signals here today. If we come across a lamp, we may end up having an Aghanim seed today.
We already had access outside of the dark room because we have that magic cape.
Well, this is becoming more and more apparent, and that's terrifying to me. As we check on the maze race, we just see 10 arrows, which is absolutely nothing. So our runners are going to go to south just to do the jam check. the Generosity Cave, and most likely Ice Cave afterwards, in hopes they don't have the dead settling thoughts of Aghanim looming over their shoulder as possible progression.
I'd be tempted in these runners' shoes to actually go desert before going east with that book and the boots.
That is true, but Desert Palace is a pinned dungeon. It's not even green on that, so it may not be an appealing idea, but it is an option for our runners to go to.
I'll be honest, I see Pendant Dungeon, that just tells me something's there. 90% of the time. So the Watergate check had 10 arrows in the front and 50 rupees underwater.
It's worth noting that during the previous race,
and Jawesomesauce is taking the desert route.
This is understandable. He wants to check the ledge of desert to see if anything's there. You have the boots as well, so you can potentially clear the first part of Desert Palace.
And if both items are in the front of desert, that clears everything unless it's a pedestal seed.
As we see here, checking on inside the cave. And as we get there, we get half magic. This is good. Half magic is always a welcome sight early in the game because it helps solve your magic issues when it comes to Dark World stuff.
And given that Jawesomesauce is walking out of Agina's cave, we are going to be seeing a trip to Desert Palace here.
Yeah, no point in holding off on potential checks from there until last minute, so it could be a good play from him or it could be a completely waste time. Either less, there's checks to be had in there, and hopefully that checks will lead to some progression. As you see Otter opting out of it to go, most likely, I like to think he's going to do...
Bonkrocks.
Yep. Bonkrocks. And most likely after that, probably check Lumberjack while we're at it. I feel like since you have the boots, there's no reason to check it as well.
Only 10 arrows in Bonkrocks, and there's our Moon Pearl in Desert Palace.
Moon Pearl in Desert
the rest
Palace.
of this desert is boots locked, so it's a good thing that we have the boots.
Yep, and we're getting the big key today.
Which does mean that the small key is in the big chest today.
Yep, logic dictates that the keys need to be accessible at the very least in the either in the bonk room or in the first main chest that you come through by activating the switch. Otherwise, you'll be completely locked out of the seed in the back part. Interesting.
Oh, it's Otter went for a Houlihan.
Houlihan. He's maybe looking to do Zora today, so that is... I agree. I can agree with this idea.
It's good to plan ahead for that. And it works because it drops him back off at Link's house. There's our
There's our lantern. Oh no.
Desert Palace just finished off our Aghanim care package.
So it might be running through his mind that he has to go through Aga. He could opt out on it, not doing it now, and checking the east side and of course south stuff.
At
in
the
order
very
to see
least,
if they
I
can
would
get
do
a
South
growl.
Shore if I were in Jawesomesauce's shoes, because South Shore has too much potential.
Yeah, it has a lot more potential, and you may end up getting your gloves there, meaning that you don't have to do Aghanim at all for the light world in order to get to dark world. As you see in the Generosity Cave, we got 10 arrows, bombs, 50 rupees, a mushroom, and 20 rupees.
So Mini Moldrum Cave is not the most useful cave here. But it gave us a mushroom, so who knows what that can turn into today.
Hopefully it's just not 20 more rupees here. I would like to hope that hookshot is behind mushroom. Hookshot or perhaps even gloves. See both runners racing to the ice cave. My money is on them after doing this. It's Otter. He's most likely going to do Water Walk into Zora after this. especially since he has the money to do it.
Yep, he is setting up the Ice Rod Water Walk here. So he's heading straight for Zoro.
By running
Jawesomesauce is the one we'll want to watch to see where he goes next.
Yeah, for those of you wondering how Water Walk works, if you run along the edge of a pit that you can fall into, there is a way to arm the sort of parameters of the game to make it think like you're still within the realm of falling off. And by doing that, once you go into the water, you're basically standing on it. Of course, when you bonk or take damage, that deactivates this state. So it's worth noting that if you want to do this, want to try to do randomizing these glitches, you can work Water Walk into your repertoire there. As we see,
Jawesomesauce escape.
He's most likely going to do escape and then loop into Aga. That may be the decision here. As Otter, after checking Hobo, decided to save and quit, which I think it's okay, but I wonder if he knows that he can water walk. Not water walk, but fake flipper from there. As he prepares.
Oh, he set up another water walk in here, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you can't really... The only way you can get into Waterfall Ferry this way is making sure your Water Walk is still armed, especially if you do not have the Moon Pearl. If you don't have the Moon Pearl, you will need to arm Water Walk to go into there, basically. And I think because he took damage, he may not be able to... Okay, yeah, it worked. Kind of surprised it did. I usually thought taking damage will be the one that'll disable it, but I guess not. Well, good to know Otter knows this, as he's now going to run into the fairy fountain and see what it has inside.
Jawesomesauce setting up a death warp on that green guard.
As intended. Since our runners do not have mirror yet, death warping is very viable, especially when you're deep in a dungeon and you need to get out of it to do another route.
We have not gotten our small key, so if there's not a small key in Dark Cross here, we need gloves to get the 3 in the back. Meanwhile, we got blue mail out of the Waterfall Ferry.
And bombs are on Zora's ledge. Thank goodness for that. We don't have to worry about flippers until we see a requirement for that for Swamp Palace, which is in the Dark World. And Jawesomesauce pulling up, I think, was that bombs in the Dark Cross room? And
let me check the Restream side of it, the Twitch stream.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't a key, so he has to leave out. And more likely than not, he is going to go ahead
and it was bombs.
More likely, he's going to go ahead and run out to... Okay, it looks like he's doing a Lumberjack ledge play at the Bonk Rocks. He has yet to done that, so... And Otter's using that hard-earned money that he had gotten for a small shield. So that's probably the most expensive shield ever. That has to be Gucci. I don't see any other...
And it's Otter going for the Eastern Palace direction.
Yeah, it looks like both runners are holding off firmly to the idea that there is progression to be had that allows them to not do Aga, and this is...
Jawesomesauce is actually going for the mushroom turn-in right now.
This is also a pretty good play. If mushroom doesn't really yield any results, they can opt to reset to say... Ooh. But yeah, if there's nothing good in mushroom, they can opt out to reset the game and say their mushroom for fake doing another glitch called fake mushroom activation, or fake powder. But it looks like he went ahead and took the money and left. So more likely he's going to follow same suit to Eastern Palace. And oh wait, no, looks like both of them are going to actually fight the Aga today. as the seed demands them to through Mortal Kombat.
itsotter could be going for the escape rooms here.
Oh yeah, that's right. He has yet to do the escape part sequence. So
we know nothing's in there.
Yeah, nothing is in there. So most likely when he finished from covering those tracks that Jawesomesauce have finished going through, he's most likely going to go ahead and do Aga. Just, you know, just the rest, the escape can wait. Might as well do Aga now and get that Dark World Axis going.
What would be surprising? I would actually be surprised if he does, because itsotter has not gone to desert yet.
Oh, that's right. He does not have the Moon Pearl yet.
Or the lamp.
Or lamp. So he might have to. I'm wondering if it's not there, he may end up doing Eastern Palace. If that's the case, he could go ahead try finishing the rest of Escape blindfolded without the lantern, and then coming across those bombs and being a little bit vexed about that happening. But more likely than not, because he does not have the Moon Pearl, he may end up going ahead and like just mad dashing over to Eastern or going to Desert. And if he goes to Desert, he'll go the right way, because that's where both Lantern and Moon Pearl is at in order to do Aga for.
Eastern could also have a glove to put Dark World in access.
That is true. And if it's definitely a glove there, then Otter could be a little bit in the lead for the fact that if he does find glove and then goes to Eastern Palace to get those two items.
But we don't know what's in Eastern yet, so we don't need to speculate too much there. Meanwhile, Jawesomesauce is climbing the tower.
Doing a pretty good job at that too. Making sure he's cleaning out the rooms pretty effectively, and now he's at the last segment of it, which shouldn't take that long for him to reach the big wizard himself.
And itsotter is currently in the rope room of Escape. He's just looking for those stairs. There they are. All right, and since we're on the 7th floor, I guess we can ask everyone's second favorite question. How many times will Aga fire blue balls at us today?
Oh, I like to think it'll be 3 today.
The good old average 3. The evil person in me wants to say the max of 15. But I've not seen one of those ever.
I hope no one sees any of those ever.
But I would like to say a lot in the 3 to 4 range. And itsotter is going to the Eastern Palace direction.
All right, now this is... Oh, he might be doing the mushroom check first before going to Eastern, so there's always that. Otter commented about the last race he could have done better committing to his gambles. And he's hoping to look to... Did I mention that before that he was looking to take this to game 3, which is a good thing?
Yes.
All right. Oh, that was before comms came back live, though.
And Jawesomesauce is giving us a map check. We've got pendants in Thieves Town and a green pendant Turtle Rock.
Okay, Turtle Rock may not be required, but this could be a pedestal game, so anything can happen.
And then red crystals today are Swamp Palace and Palace of Darkness.
This is actually pretty good. An early Pyramid Fairy check will not only allow the runners to may get a chance for progression here, but also refill the bottles with hopefully blue goo. Or at least red, you know. Something useful instead of bees.
And itsotter is, while Jawesomesauce does Hype Cave, itsotter is going to Eastern Palace.
Yep, making the commitment to play to see if there's any progression in Eastern's front part. As we get in High Cave, Small Shield, Piece of Heart, 50 rupees, and the flute. All right, that flute makes up for it.
The Tootie Flutie.
Yeah, the flute is pretty useful for fast travel.
The flute is required to seed.
Definitely required, yeah. It is definitely required because Misery Mire is a crystal. And thankfully enough, having it early will allow the runners to, at the very least, get to and from different places and route in a lot of stuff more effectively. I like to think that our buddy Jawesomesauce is going to check Stumpy and probably going to go ahead and do the digging cave afterwards.
Flippers from Stumpy today.
Wow.
The South Dark World is...
Hey, no complaining here. All they need now is a mirror and they should be able to have access to Swamp Palace. Especially now that we know Hookshot is in the hut of Eastern Palace.
And our big key is not in the dark room.
Thankfully enough, hopefully they will come across one or two items.
I missed in the second check of the dungeon, but we've found at least. I'm going to guess we've gotten 3 items because with itsotter leaving there.
Yeah, doesn't seem like anything important has been acquired from there, and most likely than not, Otter's leaving to go ahead and go to desert. Because that's the only logic dictates that's like the only place you can find anything there, and he's going to be glad to.
We are now getting a lumberjack check.
Not only just a lumberjack check, a blind one like that. I don't think both runners take a look at what was in lumberjack today. So hopefully it's some progression, and they did pretty well in the rounding this in. And as we get more bombs, oh well.
This seed is the bomb.
More like this seed bombs. Terrible. But at least that check is out the way.
And with itsotter's Eastern Palace dive, that was a required aghanim we just did.
So Jawesomesauce have a bit of advantage clearing that out. And most like we're gonna go ahead and give our toot on the flute to free the bird. Everyone rise for the national anthem.
You can't see me, but I am actually saluting at my screen right now. And if we should be getting to... I think Jawesomesauce is going for the... At least this... Oh, he has his flipper checks still.
Yep, gonna check Hobo, gonna check the... Well, he also has the money too. I would like to think that after the Hobo check, he's gonna go ahead and finish up doing checks for Zora. And most likely will catch up to the item count that Otter would have. Only by slightly. He will still be missing the hookshot if you choose not to go into Eastern Palace Shed.
And with those finds, itsotter probably going to be climbing the tower next. Having acquired their Moon Pearl and the lamp, and now knowing that this is a forced aghanim.
Meanwhile, awesome Jawesomesauce is now going to go ahead and into the Zora Lake, so both of our runners doing a little crisscross high-fiving each other as they cover each other's tracks.
So while the runners cover each other's tracks for a second, let's just take a quick moment to shout out these two runners, Jawsomesauce and itsotter.
Yeah, make sure you give them a follow on their respective channels. Also, do give a follow to our tracker,
SpamMusubi, and our
Restreamer,
Lumaga. There's numbers attached to Lumaga's name. I don't know what they are off the top of my head.
Also, go ahead and give Zeke Highwind a follow as well, and be a follow as well on the on our channels as well.
Oh crap! The commands have a little bit of a typo today, but that can be taken care of shortly.
Yeah, more likely than not, they'll do some under the hood looking to reconfigure the Nightbot to make the appropriate channels work, and there we go.
All right, and we're going to Death Mountain.
All right, Jawesomesauce going into Death Mountain. He's gonna go ahead and get the old man out from there. No wonder, wondering. I'd like to know how he got in the Death. I wonder how he got in that cave and just decided to just sit there for who knows how long. Like,
he ran out of lamp oil.
You know, that's understandable.
We are talking fantasy medieval type kingdom with magic. We don't have electric lanterns at this point.
And even then, I'm pretty sure the electric lantern would have probably ran out of batteries. As we get a bottled fairy from the old man, and he must have been saving it just in case he ended up getting killed. Which, I don't blame him. This place is dangerous as I don't know what, with all these falling boulders and turtle rocks everywhere.
All of these sky cabbages.
I hate them. I hate them a lot.
Now, the one unfortunate thing for Jawesomesauce is he does not have a hookshot.
Yeah, he cannot explore the east side of Death Mountain until he decides to go ahead and dive into Eastern Palace. As we look, and just as I said that, he may be going ahead and doing the play right now, which is actually pretty good.
And itsotter is going into his Aghanim fight on the right.
Yeah, once more we're seeing both of our racers continuing to cover tracks, but with Jawesomesauce being pretty much in an advantage of being able to do Aga very early and getting some of the progression that he has right now, especially with the flute. Flute paired with boots, all you need is a mirror and you're just golden for whatever route you want to make up with.
And there's our hookshot, our bombos, and 20 rupees. I actually missed what was in the last check on that, so kind of glad we got to check it out. And honestly, I imagine Jawesomesauce is about to go straight back up the mountain.
Yep. With both hammer and hookshot in hand, you can most definitely get access to Hera Tower from this way. And that is a crystal seed. Crystal seed.
And you have a fire source if it's locked in the basement.
So yeah, there's no point in holding off on those checks. Might as well do them now and always be clearing dungeons, as they will always put it. ABCD.
And fantastic super speed navigation there too.
Yeah, making sure he's putting those soda rocks in their place. I feel a little vindicated watching that, because they can definitely get in your way in the worst possible ways too.
Have you ever gotten stuck in one?
I have seen someone got stuck in one, and I
and
immediately
there's our glove. There is our first glove in Paradox Cave. Does that make it Paradox Cave?
Definitely so. Definitely so. All right, in the rest of these chests, we get some 20 rupees, piece of heart. Gonna run over to the other side and check the rest of them. More bombs, another piece of heart, and the ice rod.
The ice rod is not hard required today.
Well, thankfully and unfortunately, yeah. But otherwise, you kind of wish the hotter other cousin was there instead. As we see from itsotter, he took a moment to take a peek at the bumper ledge, and that was 20 rupees. So now he's going to go ahead into the Thieves Town. Most likely going to run the checks there and probably finish Thieves Town dungeon or take a peek at it just to see what items that it has in it.
And Jawesomesauce is going to grab Ether Tablet. itsotter makes his map check.
And from the heavens descends 20 rupees.
It's raining money in Hyrule. Can we move there?
Make it rain! Actually, no, don't make it rain. I think rupees would be a very dangerous weapon if they fell from the sky like rain. They'd probably hurt a lot. Probably hard, too. Very hard currency.
Oh boy. Vanilla Big Key.
Vanilla Big Key, indeed. It looks like Jawesomesauce is opting to not go into it. Hopefully that will not bite him in the later run, but I don't think it will. As we see from Otter pulling up a temper sword in the treasure chest minigame.
Jawesomesauce in the basement.
Jawesomesauce successfully doing the hair pot clip, which requires you to push yourself a tad bit into the pot itself to hookshot into it completely. And then with a quick movement of the left and then going up, you can go into the pot to get to the upper part of the dungeon itself without requiring the use of the big key.
Now, was that one item or two in the dungeon?
I believe that was one. Because I think I saw him... Oh, wait, no, it was two then. Because I don't see any key dungeon items in his status screen. So
that's
he's looking
fantastic.
That is a definitely good relief off of his shoulders as he's going to finish Mort here with some hammer play from the looks of it. That's one smack on the tail.
Chat informs us that it was a compass that he skipped in the basement, so there is one more item.
Okay, okay, that part I didn't catch. As we see from itsotter taking an intentional death to get back to the entrance of the dungeon to continue his Dark World scourge.
There's an item in the big chest.
Oh boy. So yeah, he will have to go back to the basement to take a coffee break. Meanwhile, itsotter is going to go ahead and more likely than not go to the bottom part to cover the tracks of Jawesomesauce that he has done for the bottom part of stuff. For the flute.
And the flippers. And Jawesomesauce is remembering to grab Spiral Cave. It's always better to do Spiral Cave when you have Pegasus shoes. Yep. It's such a slow walk otherwise. And digs up 300 rupees, which is good when you still have a Kiki to go pay off soon.
Yeah. Both runners looking...
There's another sword!
So, most likely or not, our runners are going to have golden swords for this run, for the rest of this run. Hopefully.
What a place for that! So we know all 4 swords, and it's crazy. With that glove, we are finally going to see what's in the back of Escape.
Yeah, I agree with this play after saving and quitting at the very least. You need to get this out the way to get the load off your mind. Hopefully you're not orphaning 3 potential items here.
I would like to point out the unfortunate thing here. Jawesomesauce left after Tower of Hera.
Yeah, he's looking to be very adamant and just not checking there, and I think I understand the reason why. Unfortunately for him, he picked up the big shield, and yeah, he's going to have a very fun time lugging that heavy thing around. I mean, at least he can look at his own reflection.
If you happen to have to do a laser bridge, that's a good thing to have. And now Jawesomesauce is going around to the traditional Dark World access for over here.
Yeah, not having Titansmith can be a bit of pain, but what can you do? But just go ahead and go on through and get into that war portal.
And speaking of Kiki, he's a monkey. We've got Kiki the monkey coming up.
Yeah, Ittsotter's going to take a dive into the pod. I didn't realize he had the bow now, and I've forgotten where he picked it up from. But I would like to think he picked it up from the...
somewhere in the Village of Outcasts, because that's the only place it could have been.
Yeah.
So that makes this pod dive even better. Because pod is fully clearable right now. The bow was in Thieves Town, according to chat.
Okay, must be in one of those other rooms. Because I know. Okay.
I believe it must have been in the third chat, because that's the one I was watching Jawesomesauce during.
Alright.
And it's a good thing he has that bow, too. Because this dungeon is bow-locked.
Yeah, in order to get to the basement part of this dungeon, you have to kill some mimics. And one of them is unfortunately red, which is bow required to kill.
Jawesomesauce taking the elevator, better known as a wallmaster, to get back to the entrance.
Yeah, better to take that than to take a death warp, because it saves you a lot of time. Picking up the key, taking that warp again.
A death warp would be costly too, because you have a ferry.
Oh, that's right. The old man gave us a ferry today.
But,
I mean, you could release the ferry.
Jawesomesauce is still going through with the dungeon, with Skullwoods here. I don't believe we found an item yet.
Yeah, we have yet to find an item. Looked like he is trying to finish the front part to see if he can come across the fire rod to finish it off the dungeon itself, or just to see if he can get some more progression along the way as we come across the big key. So most likely he'll run back to there.
And as predictable as it could be, there were two keys over here in the right side Palace of Darkness. And there's our Saint cart.
Interesting. Saint Tart. Hopefully item 2 will be something a little bit, well, having more hearts doesn't hurt, but having progression will be better, in my opinion, at this point. Especially since they have blue mail now. They don't have to worry too much about damage, and I do think they do have some ways to get some safeties going.
However, our second item is in the back.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
So just gotta wait for the elevator again.
Yep, don't want to waste those keys. Those are...
there's our shovel.
Fetch quest, anyone? But yeah, saving those keys will allow him to finish the very back end of Skull Woods once he gets the fire rod to finish the rest of that dungeon up.
And now we're getting a bumper cave check.
I believe that was 20 rupees, because it's our... Yeah, Otter just did the check himself when he was visiting the overworld of the Dark World.
The Dark Overworld?
The Dark Overworld, yeah, there we go. It looks like it's his turn to go to the Thieves Town to do some checks himself. So he's going to come across his bow and arrow, and he's most likely going to run towards Palace of Darkness as well. Oh, as well as his golden sword, too. Well, that is if he decides to go into the Thieves Town dungeon.
At this point, I believe he has to, or go to pod without the bow. And there's his butter sword.
One of my good friends in the other Discord servers gave me a pop quiz when I first entered in there saying that there's a man who just stares at you angrily eating a stick of butter. What do you do? What do you do? You can't do anything, really. You just have to sit there and watch that man just aggressively eat a stick of butter at you. And I feel like that's what this Buttersaur just kind of represents. Just a very angry lady.
That's where the bow was.
Yep, there we go. There's the bow. And I'd like to think I don't think he would try finishing this dungeon. Would he?
For me, that game will depend on how many items I found in the front.
Well, that was the first item.
Yes, and we already have big key.
First item and the big key. So we got like, I want to say 4 more checks, correct?
There's a second item. There's 2 more items in this dungeon. Yeah, there are 2 items in the back. I would leave if I were one of these runners right now.
As you see from other side in the dark cave, more likely doing a purposeful death because I think he did do the checks for the last set of chests over there. So most likely not, he's going to go run towards the boss and finish him off. As you see, Jawesomesauce, not opting to go into Dark World for Pod, most likely going to just finish the Eastern Palace first, which is...
With no mirror, I like this play. I like this exact play because it means you can just fly back to Flute 5 and then go up to Pod.
Yeah, a lot more route efficiencies going on here, which is pretty good. Alright, now the path is opened up for the boss room for Otter. More likely than not, he's gonna take that pretty cleanly with the tempered sword as well as some good bonks on that mask of his. So that should be, once he gets done with that, and more likely than not, he's probably gonna either do, since he's still in the Dark World, he could opt to do Catfish, or he can save and quit. Oh, wait, what was that?
I was incorrect. There is 1 more item in the Eastern Palace for his Otter. It's behind one of these dark rooms.
Oh. Well, I wonder what could it be.
I would hate to see a glove here right now.
If there was a glove here, I think we will all collectively despair. I don't know what noise we'll make. We'll just be in despair for the most part, if that's the case.
But whatever happens, this is still a crystal required dungeon, and they still didn't have a bow coming in here.
That is true.
So, for all we know, it's the compass over in the big key chest.
And while Jawesomesauce is going through the dark parts of Eastern Palace, Otter is finishing up his fight with the big man himself. I like to call him Bang, because nobody cared who he was until he put on the mask.
Well, there's our other glove. This wasn't required siege.
Okay, that's a relief off of our minds right there.
So, 1 glove is in Paradox, the other is in Pod. Now we have to see how long it takes itsotter to go to Death Mountain. It shouldn't take too long, because there's a bunch of checks up there he has to go do.
Yep, save it and quitting. Most likely he's going to run to there immediately to Death Mountain, because I don't think he took the moment to explore there. And if that's the case...
he's not been back to the village to activate his flute, so...
Yeah, okay. So most likely he's going to finish that up, and then flute on over to Death Mountain. I think he's doing the back of his skate.
This is his first glove.
Oh yeah, that is correct. So yeah, this will make this is a decent play as far as checks goes, because you're still looking for the other glove. You don't know what the back of the skates had, and you didn't really much do the dark room. Well, wait, no, you did the dark room in the dark, no less. So yeah, both of our runners now having beauty shields, as I would call it.
I've been known to call it the shiny shield.
To be honest, there's a lot of names you can call that shield. The lag shield, the gold. I want to say someone called it the Golden Duck of Doom for some reason, and I wonder where they got that from.
And welcome to the Armo Snipes.
Yeah, they're doing a little raid party today as we see Jawsomesauce. He may be able to do the quick kill from here. I'm not sure, but he needs to be careful. Oh no, he messed up. But that's okay. He did that fight pretty cleanly, taking that in a convincing manner to finish up the dungeon.
A little bit of improv at the end of that kill there, but...
As you see Otter freeing the bird, going back to Link's house. I wonder where he's going today. Oh, he's going to... Yeah, he has the shovel. He's going to do the fetch quest to see where that can lead. That makes a lot of sense. And then if there's nothing, I mean, of course, you could just leave right out afterwards. You don't have to worry about anything else.
And Jawesomesauce doing as I predicted and going back to Flute 5 for the Dark Palace.
A whole heart being in there. Not bad for added defense, and more like they're not going to go ahead and go... Okay, yep, he's going to go ahead back into Eastern Palace to finish up what he has started from there.
So, Hubb.
Yes?
In chat, Oro presents the fact that Otter's going to have full Dark Death Mountain access.
That is scary. Potentially.
Because once he goes up to Death Mountain, he will get his Titan's Mitts.
Yep. And with Titan's Mitt, you can easily go into Death Mountain, even through Turtle Rock, to take a check on that to see what medallion is required there. But yeah, you should be able to see all the sights and sounds of Dark Road Death Mountain, and hopefully clean that up completely and mark that off of your to-do list. So yeah, Otter may have the better item progression to be able to effectively route Death Mountain from here.
The question is, what important items will be up there? I'm expecting a mirror at this point.
You know, I don't like to think if mirror is going to be somewhere around here, it'll probably, I'm being a little bit mean here, it may end up being in Turtle Rock. I don't like to think it's in Turtle Rock for some unexplicable reason. That's only because sometimes this randomizer has a mean streak of doing so.
Reminds me of a seed I once played. I had Mirror in Laser Bridge and Fire Rod in Cave.
I remember my Mirror Shield being in Turtle Rock. It was like the first item we found. And I think that was in Game 5, if I'm not mistaken. Well, Week 5 of that of the tournament. As we get our Restreamer giving us the signal that he's going to sync up the runners a little bit. So
I believe that means Ed Otter will pause for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, which is fine. Just parting the gap. We'll mind the dust, as they would say. Meanwhile, while they are slowly going over the tracks they have gone over, a little bit tidbit about them. Jawesomesauce's favorite character that he likes from Nintendo is Ness, and he, unfortunately, he has some trouble using the Ness sprite in the randomizer, but he's hopefully, once he finishes up this tournament, looking to see if he can, like, play with that sprite more often to get used to it, to be able to do his glitches effectively, so.
I mean, I don't blame him. It takes some time to learn your pixel lineups for things like the Ice Palace Bomb Jump.
Yep.
I've learned that the hard way with learning my own preferred sprites, so.
Thankfully, once you get it down the first time, it'll feel like second nature after every other time.
Exactly.
Interesting. Otter opting in a unique way of doing Armos. And I think, okay, yeah, he's looking to do it the normal way, but he able to do that in a good, convincing manner, making sure that he makes quick work of the Armos, and now he has his crystal. It's worth noting that Otter is rocking his favorite character, the Shy Guy, because he likes those guys, and you know, I think Shy Guy is a fine guy myself. I think I like him.
I think we recently got a shy girl sprite added to the randomizer.
Oh, interesting.
It's Otter covering the Death Mountain Trail here.
More likely going to go ahead and have a fun time clearing that out, especially once he finds those Titans men. Meanwhile, Jawesomesauce is going to do the same thing once he gets his Titans men, but except being in pod.
With Titans in pod, it does give you some different options.
It's kind of strange how one item can be in two different places at the same time. But
the
hey,
joy, remember, the Butter Sword is going to be in both. Butter Sword is going to be in the Spiral Cave for itsotter.
Two items in two different places at the same time.
The joys of progressive items, am I right?
Randomizers just can never expect the same thing twice sometimes.
But we can.
And we see Otter going right into Spy Cave. I think I can agree with this idea a little bit. He's at the very start of Death Mountain. He can just go right ahead and get this out the way, save and quit, and then go ahead and do the rest of it from here. Getting Spy Cave out first is not a bad idea. Gives you the peace of mind, even if the progression item is not there. As we see, as is just a piece of heart.
And how many progression items have you orphaned in Spike Cave?
Oh, me. I think a little bit way too many to count.
And itsotter is now going for East Death Mountain. We'll enjoy that East Death Mountain just because of that Titans myth.
Yeah, more likely than not, once you get that, he's gonna go right into he's gonna go right into the east side of Dark Death Mountain and do Super Bunny Hop Cave, check out the Hookshot Cave, especially since he had the Hookshot, and see what's in see what the required medallion is for Turtle Rock.
Mind you, unless we find the Samaria, even if we have the right medallion, we cannot get anything in Turtle Rock.
Which is completely fine. We hope we don't have to go into Turtle Rock at this point, I would like to say.
Oh, don't worry. These runners will have to go into Turtle Rock. It's Pendant Turtle Rock.
Everything's in Pendant Turtle Rock. It's just an unwritten rule for some reason. If it is, I'm going to turn in my badge. I would hate that. Meanwhile, Jawesomesauce is finishing breaking down Helmsor's mask and taking on with 2 clean swipes of the Butter Sword. That's a pretty dangerous sword, and finally gets his Titan's Mitt. I don't like to think after this he's going to go ahead and go. You know, I wouldn't blame him if he goes to do Eastside Death Mountain as well. It will be his second trip back up to the mountain, but it could still be, you know.
I actually think if I were in his shoes, I would probably go to Ice Palace myself.
You're right. You do have Bombos, so you can go ahead and get into there through that way.
And he is fluting off the mountain, it looks like.
Yeah, that looks like the intended play here today. Oh, never mind. I forgot. We have Titansman. We can always check Misery Meyer's shed and hopefully see if there's any kind of progression items there. Also, we can get a peek of the pendant.
That's Bombos.
And that's Bombos. We're going to get some access over there unless we get, some more over here, Just, okay, we got Fire Rod. That's good. Yeah, that's a good time to say, you know what? Fire Rod's here. I can finish Skullwood with this. Let me go ahead and do that right now. As you see from itsotter and Super Bunny Hub Cave, getting a full heart and a piece of heart. Not too bad, but not too good. Something that can be, something that's so-so. And checking over into Turtle Rock's interest is a Bombos.
Also Bombos.
Okay, so both medallion requirements, both being Bombos, they don't have to worry about much of the other medallions until Nether, because they're probably gonna never use the other two medallions now.
I mean, Bombos is the best medallion. There's our magic mirror.
All right, magic mirror. It's been a while. We're so happy to see you today. This also means that because that magic mirror was there, itsotter can just go into Hera immediately after this.
What a lucky route.
That route is wild. This is from Otter's perspective, this is a god mountain right here. Just because of this.
But we've gotten other progression in here for Jawesomesauce going into Skull Woods. Always have a strategy for this mummy room.
Yeah, mummies are very, very troublesome, especially if we don't have magic. You need to make sure you have to be very careful about using it, because you want to save that for Mothula.
Thankfully, though, we have a tempered sword.
No, not a tempered sword. We have a buttered sword. Even better.
With this fight, it is a tempered sword. That is how they've coded it to make it work.
That is silly. Regardless, though, Martha goes down pretty quick as we see itsotter.
It's also doing the Hera pot,
which he is going to be very happy that he did this. Clipping in, going in.
There's an item in big chest, as a reminder.
Oh right, there is an item in the big chest, is there? I wonder if he's going to go back to there, if that's the case.
Jawesomesauce going for the mountain. Actually, no. Jawesomesauce going for. He's just using Mount Star for this right there healing.
Yeah, that's the mountain. Starting from mountain is always.
And he's doing Ice Palace.
Yeah. But yeah, about the starting from mountain, it's always a good idea to start in mountain, especially if you have the flute, because you can always get a free heal very quickly from there, and then you can just flute right out from there. It takes less time to do that than compared to starting in Sanctuary or even starting from your house, depending on what you're routing in. And of course, that depends on if you have the flute or not.
All right, Otter, ball's in your court. Where are you going next?
Oh, wow. Both runners opting to abandon the Hera basement.
I like abandoning Hera basement better than abandoning left side swamp myself. Which, we're getting a swamp palace dive.
Yeah, but the mirror. Yep, mirror in hand. It's time to take a look at what's inside Swamp. And this is to note. Once Otter finishes Swamp, he can go ahead and go into the Pyramid Fairy Cave from here because
Swamp is effectively 8 items because of that.
Yep.
So it's a very valuable check right now.
Yep. High Destiny check definitely is in a favorable position to do. It looks like Johnson. Oh wait, that's right. I was gonna say, not gonna do Icebreaker, and then I realized, oh wait, they don't got some Hurricane just yet. So
I always love watching that room executed properly.
It is a very, very good.
Unfortunate that in Randomizer we get to see so much of Icebreaker, because that room is very satisfying when properly executed.
It's time for some Ice Palace bomb job in here. And it looks like, yeah, you have to be one pixel below that bomb shadow. That's how you can properly line it up.
I'll be honest, I lined up with the head of my sprite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, either way, he managed to get it the second time around. And Otter picking up the silvers at the first chest of the Swamp Palace. Ganon will not be a problem today.
Butter sword, silver arrows, mirror shield. We just need red mail.
Yeah, both runners are doing a spectacular job going through these dungeons. And there is a red mail.
Commentator's blessing?
Let us take the time in a moment of saying thank you to the blessings of our own Jesus, as he have given us a weird moment of respite, giving both of our runners the option. Well, not the option, but most likely going to give both of our runners the most stacked equipment for the rest of this dungeon run, for the rest of this run.
I'd like to point something out. We know where all of our weapons are and all of our defenses are, and we still only have 10 hearts as our max at the moment.
I know, and it's kind of scary when you think about it. But yeah, we're definitely once we find out where we get Kane, these runners, the moment they find that, and they'll be in go mode. Well, we'll be in no mode, but I wonder how long it'll take for these two runners to be in go mode from here.
I've had the unfortunate pleasure of having Kane of Samaria in this chest Jawsomesauce doing right now. I think you can imagine how frustrated I was for that. Itsotter setting up a bomb-based diver down.
Getting that on the first try.
Not my favorite thing to do without a cane.
Yeah, it can be a bit hard to line it up properly, but I feel like the moment you get it a few times down correctly, it becomes second nature. I managed to do it both ways for a while, and I feel pretty proud about that.
And Jawesomesauce drops down to go check our good friend the iced tea room.
Unfortunately, it only has a compass for us. So more likely than not, he's going to go ahead and finish the rest of this dungeon. And from there, I wonder where he'll go to next. I like to think he'll
go Dark Death Mountain at this point.
Yeah.
I think Dark Death Mountain at this point is a better play than Misery Mire, unless the cane is on Cold Stare.
And in our big chest is just 20 more rupees. Sigh.
Yeah, and given our key count, think there's an item on Cold Stare, but I'm not 100% certain. It might be the other key, but again, I think it's the... I'm not certain.
I think Jawesomesauce already took the time to go through all the possible chests. So after this, there's nothing really left to check, since it's just only the boss. As itsotter, picking up the big key in the back part of the Swamp Palace, opting not to go back to get the chest from there. He's probably hoping that he doesn't have to go back to that chest.
It's where he's got... It's safer for him to go back in through the front door, where he has to do bomb-based diver downs, or go through vanilla.
Yeah, Cold Stare is no threat. I would have went back and forth for that one. Especially since I got blue mail. If I had, like, if it was in my situation.
It's not safety here, it's faster to do it this way.
Oh, okay.
So we're just kind of missing a red cane.
Yep, once we get red cane, we'll definitely be in the no mode, and it just takes a matter of time for both of our runners to come across it to go into go mode from the looks of it.
I think Jawesomesauce is trying to avoid going back up Death Mountain if he can help it.
That may come back to, like, bite him in the rear, because that's where that mirror is at.
And itsotter going back in for the big chest. Oh, Jawesomesauce is doing Smith Chain.
Yeah, that's why I was going to just say.
Oh no! Everyone's favorite, mirrorless Smith Chain.
Mirror, we do not have the location of it. Fire Rod was... Oh man, I think it was in...
It was in Hookshot Cave.
Yes.
Fire Rod was in Mire Shed.
Oh right, Mire Shed.
And in the Swamp Palace big chest is 10 arrows.
Yay. My enthusiasm for these items being in big chest is paramount.
Oh, Hubb. On the topic of the big key go back or not, another way to look at it is depends on if you have all of your dungeon items. I would go straight for boss if I didn't have a compass or a map, because I would gamble on map or compass being in that big chest.
True. Oh, and there's some more cane.
Red cane on Bombos. We are in no mode. Now, how long does it take itsotter to find everything? Not too long, because I believe Fire Rod is his go mode.
Yep, the moment he hits that shed and finds out that the rod is in there, he will be in go mode. As he takes a peep and see that Bombos is the requirement here, he's going to go into it after these checks. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 7 seconds, Otter is in go mode.
Yay! That's an awful go mode spot.
But in the way that Otter has routing it so far,
the winning
paid
play
off
was
big time.
The winning thing was having hookshot for the hookshot, so you can go to west Death Mountain or to west Village and route all the way around to get your bow, so you can do pod. That was the winning go mode play there for getting to go mode. Jawesomesauce going up the mountain now. Let's see how. Now, keep in mind, Otter's the first one in go mode. He's got to do Skullwoods and Ice Palace in addition to his Misery Mire.
So yeah, he had.
Jawesomesauce has to do Swamp Palace. Is all in addition to Misery Mire.
Yeah, both runners. It now all depends on how fast they can clear these dungeons now.
And remember, if Jawsomesauce routes in Bombos first, he can go mode Swamp. And we've got a Godmire.
That is ridiculous. Godmire on top of this. I guess this is just the Seed's apology way to apologize for doing AGA 1. For them to go to AGA 1.
Outside of that AGA 1, this is a Jet Seed.
This is wild. I didn't think we would get a Jet Seed that has AGA 1 requirement. I thought those were just made of fairy tales.
Now, our chat brings up a good point. If we do go mode in Swamp, no silvers for Jawsomesauce.
I'd like to think that he would go ahead and do that check anyways, just to see if he can find, at the very least, like a item to... Actually, no. I don't think he would.
Oh no. Actually, why is Jawsomesauce opening this up? He doesn't have the red cane. Unless he's opening the portal anyways.
Yeah, it's just to open up that portal to get it out the way. That's understandable. So once he finishes doing the rest of his checks here, most likely than not.
Chat also points out itsotter can icebreaker with that cane. So it entirely depends on when Jawsomesauce finds that red cane. And itsotter going for Ice Palace. Jawsomesauce going to save and quit. Probably goes Swamp Palace next. Although he does have, because of the mirror into AGA play, he does start from the pyramid.
As you see Otter going through Ice Palace. And Jawsomesauce now going into Swamp Palace. Both runners are covering each other's tracks. It's just a matter of if Jawsomesauce will go to the Bombos tablet to get his go mode item. Or will he ignore Bombos tablet after he finishes up Swamp Palace? He's going to
full dig.
That is the deciding factor for this run, because if
it depends on the execution, but I am going to say having dig Swamp Palace is going to put itsotter at a firm lead here.
Oh, without a doubt. Especially now that he has some more arcane to be able to do icebreakers super quick. As you can see here, he's lining up to clip into the barrier. Placing a block down and getting it through. Took a bit of wiggle room to get in there, but it was pretty quick.
Had to do a quick menu buff. Did have to do a menu buffer there, but that's fine because you actually want to menu to hammer there on that buffer. Or you would normally. itsotter walking past every single chest in Ice Palace.
He is here to finish what the Seed has wanted him to start on doing. So I don't see any other. I don't see any other reason to open up any other chest unless it's required to get a big key or a small key, whatever. You have the silvers, you have a buttered sword, you have a blue mail, and have magic. You have all what you can ask for, to, especially with your go items now in go mode. But yeah, after Jawsome finishes this dungeon, I would like to hope that he's going to check Bombo's tablet, because if he leaves that alone after this dungeon, he will be far, far behind.
It makes sense for him to route it in before going to Pyramid Fairy, because otherwise it's a very orphaned check.
And as the chat said, it depends on if he gets lured by the Pyramid Fairy before Bombos, which...
Oh no.
Yeah, that is true.
He's gambling left side. And if he decides to go back in for left side, that's even more of a delay.
Yeah, this is probably not a good idea to do, especially if you're still looking for your go mode item. I wonder if he's just going to do this to get this out the way and then just ignore it completely, because this is the only time I would think you'll do bomb the boss first. Like, if you're not especially intending on going into doing the left side dungeon. If you're going to not do it, you need to stick to that point, if that's the case.
And itsotter is routing in for the Mothula fight.
Yeah, all it is a hop, skip, and a jump now for Otter to finish the fight up and then run over to Ganon's tower to do the last part of the run.
The game will start when Mothula's dead.
That's right. The moment Otter has finished off Mothula...
Hold on, Hubb. We'll start it up after the Mothula fight.
Okay.
I'm just building a little bit of suspense.
All right, Jawsome. Oh no, Jawsome.
I mean, it's better to route. If you're going to go back in for left side, now is the time.
That's true.
When you've got the dungeon already built.
That is true. But the only problem here is that there's really nothing on left side, though.
But he doesn't know that.
That's true.
So it's better to look for, especially when you are one item from go mode. And I believe Jawesomesauce has lost a race gambling left side before in this tournament.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make some sense. As he is now scrambling over to the left side of the dungeon to get that out the way. Just to hope to see if some arcane is there. As we know, it is not.
Alright, sorry, continue.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was just finishing the thought there.
Alright. And with that kill on Mothula, itsotter has 7 crystals, which means he can go up to Ganon's tower. There are 22 checks in the basement of Ganon's tower. One of them has our all-important GT Big Key. Once one of our admins starts the game in chat, put in your guess which of those 22 checks has our Ganon's Tower Big Key for your internet points.
Today's guess that's coming from me will be 15. I'll like to see that number come up today. But yeah, the guessing ends the moment Otter goes into Ganon's tower. So if you want to join in on the fun, make sure you get that guess in immediately, because he's getting ever so close to there.
It's always good when you're boss number 7 in these restreams is not Trinex. Give you a little more time. Usually, if boss 7 is going to be Trinex, I will start guessing game about time the elemental heads are dead.
All right, Jawesomesauce not finding some. Oh no! So not finding anything in the Swamp Palace he is going to flute away into what I would believe to be.
He's got to check Misery Mire.
He's going to check to see if Miss Morcane is a Misery Mire.
All right.
This is where the
tower's opening.
With the towers opening, I don't think Jawesomesauce is going to be able to get back. Well, not get back, but keep up the pace.
Our Restreamer's point, speaking of that try next thing, it's even worse if it's Tower of Hera, and they mirrored over to get to it.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, it was big key number 1.
Well, the first chest being the God chest, giving us the access to the big key. Now we're just gonna hustle on over in the gauntlet.
That's fantastic. And our winner, congratulations to our winner. Oh, congratulations me.
Rigged.
Congratulations to me.
Yeah, enjoy those points.
That was not intended.
It totally was. No, I'm just kidding. Unfortunately for Jawsome, I would like to think that he's probably going to look everywhere else for the Smorcane, and that will
He
haunt
still
him.
has, honestly, the best thing he could do for routing at this point is go purple chest. Because then you're at purple chest and Bombos is right there.
Yeah, that's true. If he routes in purple chest, he'll still be in a route to get Bombos from there to get to some Smorcane. But outside of that, any other checks that's not doing purple chest outside of that, he'll need like a miracle prayer. Like Otter has to mess up a lot of times in order for him to catch up from this point. Like I cannot see it, especially from Otter doing a solid performance so far in the run so far.
And Otter does have a fairy as we look at this. This is a low health gauntlet today.
Yeah, Otter is just being very, very rough and reckless, and oh no. Okay, he should be fine. He can take this red pot to fill in the rest of his stuff and breeze on through, so he doesn't have to skip.
I'm glad he thought about it and did the potion after going through the door.
Yeah, if he went through the door before going, if he used the potion before going in the door, it could be some serious oopsie daisies happening. Because that's usually what happens when you glitch into, like, the camera glitch, right?
Oh no, going through the, let's just say it, going through the door transition while drinking a potion is an adventure.
Oh yeah. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, make sure to drink responsibly when you're playing your randomizers, guys. You do not want to drink and go into transition at the same time.
Do not drink and transition at the same time. That is your advice for today.
Meanwhile, it's Otter cleaning up the Wizroom's room in a very, very spectacular fashion.
I love those Wizroom's rooms.
Especially when they're done pretty fast that way. I mean, I wish I could aspire to achieve that kind of cleanness from that.
Very clean performance up the tower here.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab this key because he does not have 2 yet. Given some good representation of the blue boomerang. Blue boomerang bros, where you at? Drop me some hashtag representation here. Otter's doing y'all proud with the blue mail too. Come on now.
He should have kept his Master Sword.
True. But then again, you have butter. He's gonna be smooth today. It's gonna be real smooth.
Clean dashing through there.
Not to take the chest, but that's fine. He's in good standing to clean up the rest of this Ganon's tower.
He's in good standing to sub 90 of this Rando seed.
Which is amazing. Can we get some hype for a sub 130?
Amherst, that is incredible. I did not know that. In chat, Amherst says, fun fact, you can also get bottle glitched by taking damage on a door transition.
Whew. That's terrifying. I think he needs one more hit to finish off with the Aghanim 2 fight. There it goes.
There it is.
With 1 minute, 26 seconds, and 33 seconds ongoing, we're about to fight Ganon himself. Otter's looking to finish this seed off with a sub 130. Let's see if he can stick this landing. Come on, chat. Give me some sub 130 chance here. Otter's looking to take this get to game 3.
He is almost guaranteed to take this to game 3 right now. This seed, with the exception of the Jawsome had the lead very early, and then this seed has played itself in itsotter's favor.
That may be the necessary hits to go into the next phase. There we go.
Phase 3.
Let's go.
And so far, he's playing nice.
Ganon seems to be playing generous today with his wait, we spoke too soon. Here comes the teleports. Here comes the teleports.
And he keeps and it goes on and on.
There we go. We get another hit. And some more teleportation.
Here we go again.
There we go. All right.
That was an adventure, wasn't it?
Man, it felt like I was going against Bison. It felt like he was about to go up against Bison there for a moment. As we see here, Otter doing the torch glitch, and all he needs to do now is
very simple glitch. Just light that left torch in the time it takes in the time you still have with the right one lit, and the right one will stay lit the rest of the fight.
And with that hit and the arrow into Ganon,
GG's in chat for itsotter.
itsotter.
He will be finishing this race as soon as he goes through that door.
And with that, with a time of 1 minute, 28 minutes, and 51 seconds, Otter takes game 2 of the finals of the Master Sword bracket.
We will be having a game 3.
Amazing plays from there today.
On a side note, Jawesomesauce is going to catfish. We'll see if we can get itsotter in for an interview. Well, until then, we're going to focus on what happens over here on Jawesomesauce's screen.
All right, what we got for Catfish today? Catfish is just a piece of heart. So from here, kind of... See, this is the thing that I was worried about the most.
So, focusing on the game, on the finish from it, we just had a jet seed come out of a logically required Aghanim. And not just logically required, hard required Aghanim.
Hard required Agha.
Hard required Agha with a jet seed.
To be honest, that's a pretty great feat to be had right there. If he's gonna make a statement today, it'll be with this, as we are joined by itsotter himself,
Hi, itsotter. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
GG's, Otter. Amazing work getting a sub 130 on an AGA required seed. How do you feel?
I feel good now. Felt very nervous a few minutes ago.
Yeah, especially when I believe you had your last race with Shockey for semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like you was a bit nervous there, but from the looks of it now, you took that very convincingly. So how do you?
Well, gosh, I did not know that would be the case because I don't know if you remember, but when we were doing the run up like before Aga, I really last locations. What was it? It was desert, right? I went there absolutely last, and so I thought,
Yeah.
oh, I could be like minutes behind.
Yeah.
Would you like to know the major difference between your route and Jawesomesauce that gave you the advantage?
Hit me.
You did Saucerala before you hit Dark World.
What was in there? I don't even remember. Hook shot. So my mountain was faster.
You took your hook shot. You went around the Thieves' Town, got your bow before you did pot.
Oh, okay.
Jawesomesauce did hookshot after and went up the mountain, getting his first glove up there.
Yeah, that's a disaster for him.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
It's unfortunate.
Okay, so it wasn't even close then. That would be so much time.
Twitch chat actually has a question for you.
What's up, Twitch chat?
Twitch chat would like to know if that's a PB for you.
Gosh, I don't know. I would have to look at my runs. I haven't done very many. Like, I don't know if I've done sub 90 minutes actually. No idea. It might be.
Well, I can definitely say throughout your entire run for the tournament itself, this is definitely your personal best compared to those times. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, so it's a tournament PB. That's a PB.
And Jawesomesauce has forfeited the race, which, given how this seat's gone for him,
yeah, gosh.
I don't.
Pod before Thieves Town. Oh no.
And he's going to be. We'll see if we can get him to join us as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of hurts for that to happen because this all boils down to which path you had to take the chance to look for, and unfortunately, he took the long way around.
Welcome, Jawesomesauce, to the commentary booth. How are you doing, Jawsome?
Hello, Jawsome.
Tell me the cane wasn't in Hera, right?
It was not in Hera.
Okay,
Bombos.
I'm okay with that then. Oh wow, yep, never gonna get to that.
I was sweating over that Hera basement because of what happened last race. I was like, I'm still not gonna check it, but if it's there again, then okay.
Yeah, both of y'all decided not to opt in and go into her basement, which I was kind of worrying for a moment until we came across to the Bombos tablet. But yeah, how do you feel after getting done with that race, Jawsome? How do you feel right now?
Well, it's funny. After the last race, listening to itsotter talking about how I'm very thorough, and I tried to take a lot of gambles this time, like trying vanilla cane, leaving the Hera, and it just didn't feel right. So I'm gonna go back to being thorough, I think, for the next one.
Okay.
Not that it would have mattered, I think, but great GG.
I didn't mean to be calling you out.
No,
I was just noticing.
not a negative way, but definitely like it challenged me to be like, okay, I gotta try some stuff here. Normally I would have gone.
Trying new stuff is good.
Yeah.
That's what this tournament.
GG, man, that was great.
GG.
Yeah. Thinking about it now that both of y'all are going into game 3, what are y'all final remarks for that? How do y'all feel? What you looking forward to the most?
I mean, I'm happy that I got like the maximum amount of games out of both this set and out of the tournament as a whole. Like that's the cool thing about getting to the finals for me, is I get a lot of these tournament games. Winning or losing, you know, it'd be cool to win, but I'm glad I got here and I've had a lot of fun.
All right, and what about you, Jawsome?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, just happy to be this far, and you know, hopefully it gets restreamed for game 3, so everybody gets some more rando action and see how it goes.
I believe that they're trying to restream all of the finals matches for first and second place, and then as many of the bronze matches as they can. So since you guys are fighting for first here, you should get a restream.
Probably happen, yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely be looking forward to that match, as Game 3 has to going to be the hypest thing ever. I'm waiting to see some more close matches coming from both of you.
Hey, Jawsome, I have a question for you. I know you have some time to think about it, but what mode do you think at this moment? What mode do you think you'd want to run for Game 3?
I mean, I love open, and it seems like the easy choice based on we both like it. It's been good, but like I don't know, I kind of want to just switch it up after this game.
Oh, and good news, our Restreamer does say at Game 3 we'll definitely be getting a restream.
Awesome.
So long as you two are up to that.
Oh yeah,
For sure. Man, I can't wait to watch this VOD. I just really want to know the difference. I mean, it's just such a great time, man. That was an awesome run for
thank you.
Awesome.
All right, so we are going to have another match in today before we close out for the night. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you very much.
I'm glad this was a jet seat for that. What about you guys? But thank you again to Jawesomesauce and itsotter for putting on such a good race today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Please give these two a follow. They've put in a lot of good work. Thanks to SpamMusubi, our tracker, for keeping up with this insanity. And thanks to Lumaga for putting the work out to get this restream up for us. Thanks to Esper Hubb, my co-com, for keeping me company up here in the commentary booth.
Hey, no problem. Thank you very much for making this run looking fine and alive. Give my boy Zeke a follow if y'all can. But yeah, do not go away just yet. We do have one more match at 11 p.m. It's going to be Game 1 standard of the finals for Fighters Bracket. DJ Darkwing D is going to go up against John Bono. So
and
stay
it looks
tuned
like
for
we
that.
got an Amarith seed coming up.
Yeah, we are not done for tonight if this is what we're getting today.
We got a long one coming up.
So once again, this is Esper Hubb.
And I'm Zeke Highwind.
Thank you very much for watching for this race. See y'all in the Fighters Bracket.
Good luck to our replacements for next match.